The world of combat sports is not without its surprises. While you may know just how the fight will begin, it's almost impossible to imagine how it will end. And even more interesting is the fact that you never know when these contenders will do the most unbelievable. Thankfully, all of these were caught on camera, so you just can't doubt it ever happened. That said, here are 10 different moments you wouldn't believe if not filmed. So make sure to stick around so you don't miss out. Are you ready? Let's jump right in. Boxing ring fail. These two heavyweight fighters definitely came prepared for this fight, but I assure you that nothing at all could have prepared them for how this all was going to end. The fighter on the left seemed to be dominating the match, throwing the blows and putting up a great defense. But in an attempt to lock his opponent to the side of the ring, catastrophe struck. Almost immediately, the bar of the ring snapped, releasing both men straight to the ground on top of each other. While others tried to help them up, this man in a green shirt was definitely having the time of his life. But hopefully, next time, they consider heavyweight fighters when constructing these rings, so we don't have more huge men falling flat to the ground. Coach entrants fail and fall. Just as the last punch is thrown, the bell rings, signaling the end of the first round. Both fighters head to their corner of the ring as their cornermen and coaches approach. But as the man in the right corner goes in to sit, something very interesting happens. As his coach tries entering the ring, he immediately loses his balance and falls right in the middle of the ring. Not to worry, the referee was there to help him back to his feet. Did you catch it? Let's look at it one more time. He steps in and totally forgets how to use his legs, and down to the ground he went. Look at it again, but this time in slow motion. Look at his legs twist around and down to the ground. Now, what could have been the cause of that? We just may never know, but one thing we know is that, for a fact, it did happen. Boxer flies out of the ring. In this fight, the guy in the purple shorts is definitely putting up a fight against his opponent. It is strike after strike and jab after jab, regardless of his opponent's attempt at a defense. As the fight continues, the guy in the purple shorts increases the intensity of hits. His opponent soon got too tired to put up a defense, and a solid right hook from the guy in purple shorts had him flying straight out of the ring through the ropes. He literally took that hit and straight up slid out of the ring with no one to rescue him. Hot balls. Derek Lewis had just gotten a comeback victory against Alexander Volkoy, just 10 seconds to the end of the third round. And what followed after this victory was the most insane act you could have ever imagined. Right there in the middle of the ring, the Black Beast pulled down his shorts, leaving everyone with so many questions. He stood right there in the ring with just boxer briefs and his shorts hanging over his shoulder. But that isn't even the funny part of this case. When Joe Rogan asked why, the very words that came out of his mouth were, "My balls was hot." Now that is something you don't hear every day. Boobs Boxing. You heard that right, and if you didn't guess already, this is one of those inappropriate shows normally for horny men. After stating the roles and giving out instructions, the official started off the match. What was the match all about? Well, surrounded by these two ladies are men who have nothing better to do than spend money to watch girls slap each other in their boobs, one at a time. I mean, look at that guy in black having a boner just from watching. I've got to tell you, if there weren't videos to prove that these things were real, I sure would never have believed it myself. But there we have it. Wardrobe malfunction. I'm not sure what this guy thought he was dressing for when he had all these ribbons attached to his shorts and hands, but here we are. While the fight was still on, he pointed at the one on his left arm, leaving his opponent confused for a minute. His opponent eventually helped him adjust it back, and like nothing ever happened, they were back to throwing hands. But the young man had to come to peace with the fact that the ribbon didn't want to be part of that fight, so he had no choice but to take it off completely. Now, that must have just made him really sad. Poor guy had to give up his cute little ribbon. Maybe next time he'll save it for a tea party, but not for the boxing ring. Referee gets knocked out. All these men really want to do is officiate a match and get on with their day. But that is a bit of an issue when your job description is always having to get in between trained fighters. This fight was going pretty well until a poor ref got too close, and a spin kick meant for an opponent hit him right in the face, knocking him out cold. I mean, look at that one more time. Take a look at how he landed straight on the canvas and couldn't even get back on his feet. Celebration fail. We've witnessed a good number of celebrations fail, but nothing ever this wild. Just before the winner was announced, you can notice the guy on the right spill something from his mouth. At that moment, it seemed like that was all he had to spill. Immediately after he was declared the winner, it seemed like the hit he gave himself in the chest in celebration unlocked even more liquid. In a matter of seconds, he was bent over, throwing up aggressively right there in the middle of the ring. Look at that projectile of that vomit. My God! That must have really been a rough fight for him. But one thing was for sure, he wasn't holding any of that back. It was meant to come out, and he let it flow. Just take a look. Blood vomit. Now, this is not a celebration fail like we just had. In fact, in this case, Paddy Pimblett was simply in an interview after his victory in his MMA fight, Cage Warriors. All of a sudden, right in the middle of his interview, he bends over and immediately vomits blood out of his mouth and nostrils right on the canvas. After moving a little, thinking it was all over, he was back to the same position and poured out even more. Conversely, the crowd just stayed cheering, while Pimblett had to end the interview immediately and find the strength to get out of the cage. Unfortunately, he could barely make it out and just sat there on the floor while they provided him with a towel. While we may not know what could have caused that, we can agree that he fought really hard to earn that win. She-Hawk at the gym. At around 9:54 p.m., this young woman is seen working out alone in the gym at her apartment complex. Soon, some guy came up to the door and knocked for her to open up. Unsuspecting, she goes ahead and lets him in. The 24-year-old lady, after opening the door, goes back to her workout, only for the guy to walk up to her a few minutes later. He walks up to her and attempts to grab her by the waist, but she immediately pushes him away from her. But that didn't seem like it was going to be enough to stop him. Nishali then decided to run off to the side of a gym bench so she could reach 911, but just then, he started to reach for her phone. He even went on chasing her around the bench and then into the other side of the gym where he wrestled her to the ground. Unfortunately, he chose the wrong person to try to wrestle. Nishali is a bodybuilder, so you can already imagine how much of a loss he was at. According to her, she wasn't scared at any point in time. In fact, what she knew was that she had the strength to overpower him, and she made sure to use it. She was able to successfully tire him out and escape while her attacker, who happened to go by the name Javier Thomas Jones, was arrested. Nishali, on the other hand, was hailed for her grit. Amazing! If you enjoyed this video, do well to smash that like button and let us know which of these moments blew your minds the most. For more amazing content like this, be sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.